Hi, this is Congressman Steve Israel. What you're about to see is a press conference that I held today with the House Majority Leader, Steny, and the Chairman of the Democratic Caucus, Rahm Emanuel, on a new middle-class investment agenda that we're pursuing. I've been asked by the Democratic leadership of the House to create a middle-class working group. For the past 8 years, the Bush administration has actually pulled the middle class behind, even while they're desperately trying to stay ahead. That's got to change. We're about to leave for August recess, and I think August, as I say in this press conference, will be a teachable moment that my colleagues throughout this country will hear middle-class families demand the right kinds of investments, not $14 billion in subsidies to big oil companies, but the kind of help that middle-class families need to make sure that their kids can go to college, that they can take care of their kids' health expenses and their parents' health needs, that they can pay for gas in their cars and continue to invest in the things that are important to their families. So enjoy this press conference, and please call me and email me with your own views.
Today's job report is disheartening, as is the loss of the 463,000 jobs. Real families, working families, in real trouble because of the failed economic policies of the Bush administration.
So the recession, although being declared by economists beginning now, really started 3-4 years ago for middle-class families. This jobs report is a wake-up call. And as we talk to our constituents and we talk to each other, it is clear to me that A, we need a second stimulus, not an approach by the President of the United States that says no, and B, that stimulus should be focused on a 4-letter word, jobs. That is what it needs.
The Democratic leadership asked me if I would chair a working group on middle-class issues for the caucus. We've got several members involved in that because it's clear in the face of the joblessness report that we need an agenda that will keep the middle class ahead instead of an administration that is pulling the middle class further and further behind. We need an agenda for success for the middle class and not policies that have engaged in an assault on the middle class. I represent a typically middle class district in New York. I represent some of the richest neighborhoods in the country. I represent some of the poorest neighborhoods in the country, but most of the neighborhoods that I represent are smack in the middle. And what I'm going to hear this August, and I hope this August is a teachable moment for my Republican friends, is this. Congressman, I'm in the middle class. That means that I am too wealthy to get any help from the federal government, but I'm too poor to afford to put gas in my car, to pay my kids' college tuition, take care of my kids' health expenses and my parents' health expenses, and to pay my taxes. Now, the middle class is not looking for a handout. They just want policies that are fair, and they want policies that will help them to continue to stay ahead. And that's what this middle class working group is designed to produce. One of my constituents said to me when I was talking about joblessness, said, "Congressman, I don't know why you keep saying that there aren't enough jobs. I have 2 of them." One constituent has 2 jobs. And that's what I hear over and over and over in my district. I hear my constituents and other middle class constituents talk about the fact that it's taking them longer and longer to get to work because the roads that they drive on are falling apart. The bridges are not dependable. Infrastructure deficiencies are costing the middle class $78 billion a year. That's not acceptable. Let me give you one other statistic that is just as troubling as today's report. This is the Bush legacy for the middle class. From 2000 to 2006, the percentage of the poorest in America grew 1%, the percentage of the richest in America grew 1%, and the percentage in the middle declined 2%. That hasn't happened in recent memory. That the middle class, which is the economic engine of this country, has actually declined. Every great society in history, when it began to lose its middle class, began to lose everything. This administration has neglected the middle class. This administration, when given the chance to invest in middle class economies and reduce their gas prices, chose instead $14 billion in subsidies to the richest oil companies on earth. And that's why we've got the loss of over 400,000 jobs in the past year. And that's why we have a middle class that is declining. And that's why we have people who are finding it harder and harder to stay ahead. August will be a teachable moment for the United States Congress. And I hope that Republicans in the United States Congress will come back and join Democrats who have always led the fight for the middle class and begin passing the right priorities, priorities that will represent success for the middle class, keeping them ahead instead of dragging them further and further behind. That's what this August will be about, and I hope September will capitalize on that teachable moment.